I want to get into the defense too, because we didn't speak about that a little bit when we met earlier, but just how do you feel the defense is performing overall? Like, and even you can talk about the whole team, like just what would you say their performance or their grade is the first 4 games, but just what have you seen from the defense? Things you think have gone well, what do you think they need to improve on?
So I think the immediacy, right? Like the first thing that comes to mind is that they don't have a pass rush. But we kind of knew that was going to happen with the injuries to Barmore and with Judon going. But now with Jabril Peppers, like he's coming on and off the field so frequently in games. Like he's banged up, he's hurt. He's playing through it, and you like to see it. They just we need the Josh Uches and the Davon Godchaux to step up and to become the players that we just paid them to be. Right. So it's glaring how, the difference between how much time Brock Purdy had in the pocket.
Right.
And how much time Jacoby did not have in the pocket. I think ESPN did some sort of stat on this, that Brock Purdy had the most time of any quarterback dropping back in the pocket in week 4. So, and it was on average, just an average, it was 5.3 seconds. That's like an hour.
That's 5 seconds.
That's like an hour.
Think about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that's an eternity. That's unreal. Once again, even 3 seconds would have been long, but 5, like once again, he ain't San Fran.
But to the credit, like that
go close. It's crazy. Wow.
Shanahan deserves credit for scheming that, because it's really hard to blitz the 49ers because they have so many different outlets, and that's even without McCaffrey being there. And I mean, you have Debo, Ayuk. I mean, Mason has been awesome. Kittle is I think he's obviously the second best tight end in the league right now. And it's really hard because if you overcommit, they're going to burn you. If you give them too much time, they're going to fucking burn you. So it's a perfect storm for this Patriot team to be going up against San Francisco right now. But Christian Gonzalez, I think he's been really good. I do not think he's been great. And the reason why I don't think he's been great is because, yes, I think in the course of his career, again, I'm going to give you approximate stats, but I think he's only let up something like 65 receptions for like 200 yards against him and in his career, which is great. But he is not playing one-on-one the entire game. He's doing what Richard Sherman used to do, which we used to criticize Richard Sherman for as Patriot fan, when people would call him a lockdown corner, be like, nah, you play zone 60% of the time. And then when your guy lines up on your side of the field, yeah, you can shut him down, but you can never follow him. I want to see more of that from Christian Gonzalez, because if he has that, then we have the next great corner in New England. But it's really hard for me to fairly grade the Patriots defense because they're on this field far longer than they should be.
Right.
So I think if time of possession were equal in most games, I think I'd be like, yeah, you know what? They're probably a B+.
Yeah.
But just based on the fact that it's, back-to-back weeks of 25 or more points, or 24 or more points, whatever you want to call it, I can't call them a great defense for letting those points up, but they are on the field far longer than they should be.
Well, it's also the short fields because of the turnovers, right? So that, I'm talking about from offensively, like obviously, Brissett had an interception yesterday, like that one, the pick 6 to Warner. Like, so I think offensively, they only the 49ers offense only scored 17 on this. The rest of it was off, pick 6 and then, field goals. So 17 offensively is actually not bad, especially with a team that's that loaded, right? So once again, get that caveat. But it's wild to me just how at times they can't get off the field when they need to. But once again, if you're gassed, right, as they've been at times, that's what it is. But as much as I love him as a returner, it's kind of scary seeing Marcus Jones out there on corner. It's giving me Ellis Hobbs vibes, and I get upset.
I would take Ellis Hobbs at this point, minus that one game.
Yeah, of course, but
one play.
Yeah, but that's fair. But I'm like, man, I like Marcus Jones. I think that Marcus Jones has been decent when he's been healthy here. That's another guy. What happened? You had a whole package for him, and then you just said no. Like once again, you need all the dynamic playmakers you can get. And we've seen for a short moment with him in, I think, 2022, you throw a screen, the man can run for 40, 50 yards. He had a perfect touchdown. I was there for that Jets game when he scored a game-winning touchdown. Like, I just don't know why the playmakers you have, you shy away from. Like, I just don't get that. And it's just, like I said, it's insane to me. But as far as the grade, I mean, I think B+ is that's generous. I would still give in the B range too, but it'd be more like a B-, and that's because of the not getting up the field at times. But your point to time possession, you said the time possession, if that was even, well, guess what? Sunday it was pretty close. It was
no. That's why, but don't get caught up in that though. So the Patriots had one of their longest drives at the end of that game when it was over. When it was it was like 30-7, right?
Yeah.
So like they were out of it. So yeah, I think San Francisco let up a little bit. That's when you see that Antonio Gibson 50-yard pass. Like that was one of their. First of all, that was their longest play of the season, I think. 50 yards.
Yeah, the Seattle game. Yeah,
they have 7 plays of 20 yards or more this year. San Francisco had 6 plays of 20 yards or more against us. So their offense is anemic. But if you just take away that last possession, then you're talking about we actually held the ball for meaningful minutes when we were close enough to make it a 1-score game. Mm-hmm. It wasn't 28-25. It was more like you had the ball for like 22 minutes.
Yeah.
22 minutes out of 60. Like you defensively, you can't win.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, I don't know. I mean, obviously, guys have to get healthy. I mean, I know Kendrick Bourne should be coming back soon. Cole Strange should be coming back soon. I think City Sower got hurt too, so maybe he comes back. And
David Andrews, man,
Andrews as well. So I think once again, if they get healthy at the right positions, obviously, maybe it looks a little bit better. Once again, if you just replicate what you did in week 1, I'm talking from a blocking perspective. You're not going to get 5 turnovers, whatever they got. That's not going to happen. But even then, right? Peppers with the INT, they get the fumble on the return to start the second half. So I'm like, okay, like here we go. And for a moment, it was like, okay, you get the field goal at the end of the half, and they kind of did. It looked like the double whammy, like how it used to look. You get the turnover, you score on a short field. I'm like, okay, here we go. And just like that, San Fran comes back and scores. Now it's 27-10. And I'm like, well, ball game, because it's like the momentum was there. And maybe, like I said, if you have the Judon there, you have the Barmore there, you get the sack there. Now it's like, okay, now Slide maybe gets the field goal. Now it's 2013. And it's like, it's like momentum. And once again, San Antonio, I'll think about basketball, but we'll get into that shortly as we get into October with that. But San Francisco at this moment to me was ripe for the taking because of how they've looked so far and who they're also missing. Once again, Sam Darnold came in there and looked like a Randall Cunningham or a Fran Tarkenton for them. Like it's out of control. And those guys were healthier in those weeks. So I thought, well, maybe you have a shot, but it's like, and it goes back to what we talked about. And I know we were supposed to move on with Jacoby, but I can't. I fucking can't.
Did you just say Sam Darnold?
So Sam Darnold, Andy Dalton, who I wanted to be back on here and give you your flowers about the Andy Dalton thing, because you said it. Because we was like, no fucking way does he come out here and do anything. And you was like, hey, he did it a little bit in previous spots. Like, he might do it here. And he has. Granted, they lost yesterday, but he had a really good performance. Obviously we've seen what Geno Smith has done. We've seen what Joe Flacco did last year, right? And now he helped, the victory yesterday against Pittsburgh. So it's like to see all these bridge guys, backup guys do well, and you somehow, some way got the worst fucking one. It pisses me off. And not only do you have the worst one, you paid him $8.5 million. That's really why I'm mad, Mike. It's not about me thinking they were going to be 3-1, because obviously I didn't, or even 2-2. It's like, yo, you had a shot. You could have got anybody else. But because he knows the area and, he said this with Tom Brady, he was on Deflategate. I don't fucking care, dog. Like, he sucks. He's so bad. And even if we had a top 10 line, he will still suck. And that's the thing. I want people to let go of that. Oh, man, no. It doesn't matter what we had in front of him. Like, he's not good. And once again, he is the worst of the bridge quarterbacks in the NFL. And it's not close. It's not close. That's really the biggest issue of all. Because once again, that's why, and I'm gonna segue into the spoil thing that we talked about yesterday. It's like, when you got a guy that might go 19-32, $150, maybe a touchdown, but maybe 2 or 3 picks, maybe. You're like, what? This is not competitive. Let me at least watch something I'm going to enjoy. Because that's what you brought up. I just want competitive football. So do I. We're just looking about it a different way. I want competitive football. It's not about you losing. It's how you lose. That is something I've said religiously on the show in the 4+ years that we've been on it. It's not about you losing. I said about the Celtics, whatever. Like, it's not about how you lose, or it's not about if you lose the game. It is how you lose. You can't be embarrassed. And I'm big on that. And they've been embarrassed, the last couple of weeks. So it's just like that to me is problematic. So that, the floor is yours on that. But I just, to me, that's where a majority of my frustration lies.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, I can't disagree with you on that because I did say at the beginning of the year, I expect their record to be somewhere between 3 to 5 wins.
Right.
But I thought that it would be, my hope was that it would be more competitive. Like if the entire year were like weeks 1 and 2, I'd be fine. I'd be completely fine because you were in both of those games.
Right.
You can't have it be weeks 3 and 4. Like that's embarrassing.
That's it's brutal. It's brutal. So and so it leads into what we got into on Twitter about yesterday. So myself and there's others that have the same mentality as me, because obviously with us winning so much that we've seen in our lifetime, help us get to the middle ground, Mike. That's the word that you use. So talk me and any other fan that is like, look, it's Drake made time. It's get rid of someone, like get rid of whoever, but number 10 is you to field. So talk me and any other fan that has our spoiled mindset, as you so eloquently said it yesterday on Twitter. Talk us off the ledge and get us to the middle ground, because right now it's looking real bleak.
Well, personally, I don't need to talk you off the ledge. If you're on that ledge because you think Drake May should be playing right now, then I don't know what the fuck to do with you.
Yeah.
First thing, based on what you've seen so far, why would you want to subject the future, the hope of your future, of the quarterback of the England Patriots to this? And you're going to say, well, you don't want to stash him and hide him because you can't protect him. Like, that's bullshit. You've said that to me many times. But right now we have a situation where the guy that's dropping back knows how to make the reads, knows all the progressions, knows everything, just can't do it. Doesn't have the physical attributes to be a successful quarterback. So you want to swap him out with someone who doesn't know how to make those progressions as quickly, and
have the physical attributes.
Yeah, so you're going to sub out a guy that's going to go 19-32 for 167 yards and a touchdown and a pick for a guy that's going to go 19-45 for 250 yards, 1 touchdown and 4 picks. Because Drake's going to throw a ton of interceptions, a ton. So it's not what is the benefit of putting him in there now, knowing what we know about not only the offensive line, but schematically, and then the wide receivers? What benefit is there to him?
So I think so. It's something that I go back and forth on, because it's hard. And granted, every situation is different. So I want to put that out there. It's hard to see Caleb Williams starting to figure it out. It's hard to see Jayden Daniels really start to fucking figure it out in Washington. Because are you telling me that team was that much better? I know they beat us last year, but are you telling me that Washington was that much better than New England, and they were just a quarterback away from looking this good? Really? Because there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way.
Who's their number 1 wide receiver, right?
Terry McLaurin. In my opinion, I think he's
yeah.
Yeah.
And do they have a close number 2?
Well, I mean, not to me at the wide receiver position. No, I feel like Robinson, who's a running back, is they're probably the number 2 guy, in my opinion.
Okay. Who's our number 1 wide receiver, right?
Who should be or who is?
Sure. Either one. Tell me.
Who should be is Pop. And I say right now it's probably Hunter Henry.
Sure, but there's a difference, right? Is that they were missing a quarterback that could get the ball to their playmakers.
Mm-hmm.
And now in a situation where we are with the Patriots, our playmakers aren't developed enough yet. So you want to put a guy there who isn't developed enough to throw to people who aren't getting open because the line can't give the quarterback enough time. It doesn't make any sense to me.
But that's what I'm saying. But like, was Washington's line that amazing? But that's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't like, listen, Sam Howell was putting up, he threw for 4,000 in that offense last year.
Yeah.
So is that
it's a different offense now? But what I would say is, like,
no fact
again,
I'm right. But I'm saying he put up 4,000 with that team. Is what I'm saying. So
a reason why you can't compare the two is because Washington decided, Dan Quinn said we're going to run an LSU type offense for Judon in his first year.
Right, they catered to him. Okay, that's right. Okay, bam, bingo.
So we're not doing that. So why put the kid in that?
That's that. Okay, thank you. So I'm glad you said, because I forgot about them saying that. That's the problem. Chicago did it. They said, okay, hey, we're gonna do some things you did with Lincoln Riley, and we're bringing the talent. We're bringing X, Y, and Z. Yeah, he's had some bumps in the road, obviously early on, but he has an upward trend. Caleb, you see what Jayden Daniels is doing now with running for like 8 for 75 and then doing 20 of 26 for like 275. Like I'm like, you have to cater to the guy. Like shout out to Mike Greenberg who said that. Like he said, yo, your only job is to cater to these young quarterbacks to make sure that you put them in a position to be successful. So when they drafted him at 3, because once again, myself and many others said that Drake May was going to be there at 3, and he was. So great. Do whatever you need to do to speed up that process. And I'm not saying that he had to start week 1. Once again, from a fan perspective, I want him week 1. Okay, fine, whatever. He just start. Great. But I don't know if they've done everything. Well, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know. I do know. They have not done much to cater to what he could do best. Could Alex ain't trying to. He was not trying to in the preseason. He wasn't trying to. And
why put him out there? Why put him out there?
But I'm saying then my thing is, what was the point? And I'm trying to think, what was the point of make sure he's on the team if you think he's 2 years away? If that was the case, I'm not saying that's the case, but if they thought he was 2 years away, what was the point of drafting him now?
Well, you drafted because
once again, tell me what he's learning from Jacoby Brissett outside of getting knocked on his ass. Okay, thank you.
Nothing.
What we learned from Alex Van Pelt?
Hopefully nothing.
Okay, so that's problematic to me that a quarterback that's not going to be here long term, he's learning nothing from an offensive coordinator or offensive head coach that he's not learning much from. That's a problem. And then those guys may both be gone in a year, so that he got to learn a whole nother offense and then learn those schemes and learn whatever forward. It's like, that's a problem to me. Get the guy that you want to be paired to him for years to come, not just some runaway or some layaway coach. That's the problem I have. And like I said, it's not so necessarily not playing him or whatever, but it's like, yo, if he's learning by looking with a clipboard, then what are we doing? I
just want to. Okay, so first thing, I do think as a rookie in the NFL, you can develop more than just learning from like the actual offensive scheme and the abilities of Jacoby Brissett. I mean, I'm sure Jacoby's teaching him how to be a leader, on how to show up for your team, how to never keep your head down, right? All that stupid shit.